Thank you very much and good night. Boom. Hey, Tyson Fury here, aka the Gypsy King, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, as you can tell. I think you've all heard that I'm going to be fighting soon, within the next few months. And I think that before I announce an opponent, that I need to do this, just in case. Anthony Joshua, I know you've just lost a fight to Yousick and you're boutless at the moment. And I'd like to give you an opportunity to fight me for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World and the Lineal Championship in the next few months. You're coming off a 12-round fight, so you're match fit, you're ready. I'm giving you a few months' notice. If you're interested, I'll send you the date over and we can rumble. A Battle of Britain for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Let me know if you're interested. If not, I will select another opponent. Thank you very much and good night. Boom.
What's good, family? It's your man the YB, back once again, off the rip. Shout out to my doggy Shed for coming through and keeping that coin boosted at all times. So we just heard there from your man's Tyson Fury with some truly leaked and breaking news right now, 100%. What can I say, man? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to no one. I did peep this yesterday, but I didn't do no video, so it's one of them ones. Yeah, one of them delayed reaction ones. But I was honestly taken back by it. Now, I do have to preface this with, let's call a spade here. In the last month or so, we've gone from retirement to Chisora, back to retirement to Manuel Char, all over the place. So I'm just taking everything with a bit of a pinch of salt here. That said, if this is real, if Fury is literally sending offers out and not just woofing on social media, Anthony Joshua should be all over this, begging for it. And part of me don't think it's right, to be quite frank. Yeah, AJ is not represented at a world championship level. That's why he got his ears boxed off by a dude half his size. The other half of me thinks, I'd love to see AJ get knocked out cold. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones for me, yeah? In one mind, I'm thinking, this guy don't deserve to fight. Of all the people out there, yeah, who might deserve to fight for a world championship, he ain't even top 5. He ain't. He just ain't, yeah? After that crap, fair enough, yeah. Let's say, for example, AJ had come out, yeah, and moshed in there with Yousick, but Yousick ends up just being some sort of god of boxing. At that point, in my mind, number one, I'd be saying, well, man, listen, end of the day, AJ put on a Hall of Fame performance, but the other guy was just better. And also on that basis, I'd be able to say, oh, look, there's a narrative. Yousick's better than Fury, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, for example, let's say AJ had gone in there with Yousick, yeah, and just hammered away for 12 rounds, and Yousick was great enough to just still beat AJ on that basis. That kind of Yousick, who's able to outbox and mollywop AJ, who's bang on it, yeah, who's fully in there just moshing. Imagine if AJ was able to replicate round 9 for 12 rounds and Yousick still beat him. That Yousick, there'd be a good argument, is probably better than Fury, if you get what I'm saying. And on that basis, AJ losing, or AJ performing that way, would still have me, well, at that point would have me thinking, listen, man, there's a question. Can that AJ we just saw beat Fury? Hence, it makes sense. Yeah, both angles make sense, if that was the case. But unfortunately, on this timeline, it's not even a bit close. We saw AJ go in there again, and Team AJ were trolling all the fans. Oh, all the casual fans, they think you have to go in there and mosh. You know what I mean? They was mocking us. They was mocking the fact that everyone was saying he needs to go in there and be more aggressive. Oh, well, you know, everyone thinks they've got their plan. We've got the real plan. Oops. How was your real plan then? How was your goofy real plan? Because you went in there and really, I've seen so many knob end lickers topping AJ. Oh, AJ went in there. Oh, he put on a great performance. He can sleep well tonight. What the fuck you on? Seriously, what are them man on? I'm sorry. Oh, he was great. He really redeemed himself. What? That was no word of a lie. That was a smidgen better, because at least in this fight he actually gave us a round of proper work. Round 9 was how the whole fight should have gone, bottom line. The whole round should have gone like round 9 did, bottom line. AJ should have set about him off the rip like round 9. And I told you before, I was the one saying, if you run out of cardio, you run out of cardio. Yeah, because he ran out of cardio anyway, doing all that pity paddling he did. He ran out of gas anyway. He might as well have gone in there and died on his shield. Gone out, do you know what I'm saying? Emptied the tank. Gone out Rago style. That's what he might as well have done. And to be quite frank, like I was saying, on that basis, let's say AJ, had gone in there, Rago, for 7 rounds, and then gassed out. Even that, to be honest, I'd be sitting here thinking, you know what, man, listen, end of the day, if AJ can go in there, AJ's shown to us, he can go in there and mosh for 6 rounds. Who's to say, if he can refine that a bit more, and increase his cardio having done that, who's to say if Fury can take AJ in there moshing away for 7 rounds? Because Fury is bigger, a bigger target, is more, what's the word? He's arguably more hittable than Yousick, etc, etc. Unfortunately, AJ has not demonstrated any of them questions. He hasn't. There was some goober on Twitter saying, "Oh, AJ's proven Yousick's miles better than Fury, and AJ's proven he can go 50-50 with Yousick." Yeah, this fight's 50-50. This fight's 50-50 in my opinion. What the fuck? There's proper. You having a laugh? Fury versus this AJ. AJ gets knocked out. And you man know me, I'm not someone who gambles on the knockout. Most of the time, I'm going against knockout. I'm telling you now, if Fury wants to, he knocks AJ out in the last 4 rounds of the fight. Because you see, when AJ gasses, as he always does, and that's the thing, you can't even say, well, YB, he might survive, he might just not expend too much energy. Well, listen, in the first Yousick fight, he didn't expend no energy, and he was literally hanging on the ropes. The difference is, Fury ain't no Yousick. If Fury sees you on the ropes, it's a wrap for you. I mean, Wilder wasn't even on the ropes, and Fury still set about him. Oops. And the thing about AJ is, AJ isn't like Ruiz. AJ isn't like Luis Ortiz, who we just saw at the weekend. What do I mean by that? Well, high-level fighters, top-level fighters / great fighters, when they're in trouble, they fight back. Even Yousick, I have to give credit to him. That's something potentially I've overlooked. Even Yousick, when he had his worst round, he came back with his best round. That's another thing I've learnt recently. That is another sign of top-level / great fighters. After their worst round comes one of their better rounds. Look at Wilder. Was it Wilder? Did Wilder? No. Wilder got put down. Who got put down in the third fight? I think it was... Wilder put Fury down. I'm not sure either, man. Scrap it. No, it was. No, yeah. Fury. Fury put Wilder down. That's it. Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, Wilder. Another good example, I believe. Yeah. Fury versus Wilder 3. Wilder gets put down. It's looking like a repeat of the second fight. A round later, he puts Fury down 2 times. All these guys I'm mentioning. Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz at the weekend. Ortiz hit Ruiz with some massive left straights. Rocked his Barnett all the way back. And he came back and had knocked Ortiz down a few times. Yeah? Andy Ruiz versus AJ in the first fight. AJ gets the knockdown. Ruiz comes back and essentially batters AJ all over the ring. These are the signs of greatness. Guess what? What do we really know about AJ? And what gets me is everyone, but YB, what about 2013, 20 million years ago? Okay, AJ's demonstrated a smidgen of it against Vlad, but where's it been since? Guess what? AJ gets put down against Ruiz. What happens then? He flaps it. The fight's finished. Essentially, if you put AJ down now, if you hurt AJ, the fight's over. You've won. He don't have any of that minerals. He just don't. Yeah? Round 9. Round 9 a few weeks ago. AJ versus Yousick. Yeah? AJ has a good round. Yousick comes back, whoops him, and guess what? He has nothing else to say, does he? Nothing to say. So like I said, what's AJ going to do? What is AJ going to do with Fury? He ain't going to do nothing. The minute Fury decides to set about AJ, he's won the fight. Because AJ will cower away. I mean, if AJ can't get into it, if AJ doesn't have the oomph, to get into it with Yousick, a man where he's got all the advantages against, how's he going to get into it with Fury, where he's got all the disadvantages? He ain't going to do it. So the fight has no competitive intrigue from my point of view. None at all. Apart from how quickly is Fury going to decide to set about this big bodybuilder and get rid of him. And that's what I said. That's the other half of things. Competitively and from a pure from the pure sports point of view, I don't want to see this fight. He don't deserve it. And I'm sick of it. I can't stand him. Bear in mind, people, he sat in there in Oxford Union and talked about, oh, I love money. And I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right, yeah, at a time where normal people are busting their ass 9 to 5 to not even be able to pay bills. I don't think it's right a pumped up bodybuilder who don't do what it says on the tin. Yeah, he don't turn up and give what he's supposed to. I don't think it's right. He should just be able to rock up into another $40 million payday. He hasn't earned any of that. I mean, he just hasn't. And I'm sure all the AJ fans keep sucking. Oh, YB, of course he's earned it. If he hadn't earned it, he wouldn't be able to generate it. Or it's true. There are, and the bottom line is, end of the day, a lot of you fans are cucks, man. Because you were the man who enabled shoddy, and I don't understand it. When Freddie Harrison was useless, yeah, no one backed him. I don't get who is still backing this bodybuilder. I don't understand who backing him. He's useless. It's a big waste of space. I told you, AJ has single-handedly undone millions of years of evolution. Evolution says big buff dudes don't get whooped by little dudes until AJ came along. He's the first guy in 100 million years. Look at Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson, he was really one of the first, at that time, he was one of the first big buff dudes. Guess what? Big buff dude swatted all the little dudes, and rightfully so. That's how it's supposed to work. AJ comes along, the biggest of the buffest dudes, and he gets mollywopped by a man 30 pound lighter than him. And somehow he managed to fingle his way into this fight. So part of me hopes that Fury's trolling, to be honest with you, because he don't deserve it. And like I said, the other part of me wants to see Fury set about him and I want AJ to be given something to be nervous about, because his whole career he's spent his time nervous. Ooh, my ass is flapping. Yeah, look at Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is probably over 50 years old, and even he was able to go the distance with Ruiz, despite being put down a few times. Do you understand? Look at that. A 50-odd-year-old man went in there with, and in fact, to be honest, Ortiz won the last few rounds as well. So Ortiz, despite being old and shot-worn, he got off the mat 2 or 3 times and came back fighting. A 50-year-old man's best rounds were the last few rounds. AJ, prime of his life, goes in there with Ruiz and shits his pants. In both fights. The first fight, shit his pants. The rematch, shit his pants. Ortiz at 50-year-old was in there exchanging with Ruiz. Yeah? Giving it to him. Hitting him with heavy shots and taking heavy shots. I salute that man. I really do. Meanwhile, AJ went in there and he shit his pants, ran around the place against Mr. Blobby. How embarrassing. Ortiz did a better job than AJ did. Truth be known. Big facts. Yeah? Imagine AJ at 50 doing what Ortiz just did. He can't even do it in his damn prime. Clown. So yeah, I feel that anyone else should be given the opportunity, to be quite honest with you. That said, the last thing I'll say is, I mean, from a pure kind of casual fan point of view, is it titillating? Oh yeah, AJ versus Fury. It is titillating, but for me, it was supposed to be deeper than that, if you get what I'm saying. This was supposed to mean something. Now, it's just titillating, isn't it? Oh, yeah. There was some goober on TalkSport saying, oh, this is the one with, some AJ, oh wow, this is the one we've all been waiting for, oh, it's going to be bigger than ever. Planet you want. It's a bum fight. This really is a bum fight. Yeah? This fight for me is just like Fury versus Chisora, Fury versus Manuel Char. This is that kind of fight now. Fury versus AJ is like any other one of them ones. Yeah, it's a case of how is Fury going to get rid of this guy? That's the question. Call me a liar. What question have you got? Go on, Mr. You can't beat Yousick. Go on, Mr. You can't even how can a man who can't put Yousick down? What's he going to do with Fury? Go on, explain. Explain what he's going to do with Fury. He ain't going to do nothing. And he knows it. And that's what gets me the most. That's what frustrates me. He knows he ain't going to do nothing. Because if he didn't, he'd have done something with Yousick, wouldn't he? Yeah? So, end of the day, I'm happy either way. Yeah? If Fury's punking this guy, good for me. I'd love to hear he got punked, because he don't deserve it. And the way AJ's going, he's going to get knocked out by everyone, and that's good. If the fight gets signed, great. We get to see Fury knock AJ out, and that's the only thing I'll say. I just hope that Fury, if this is real, if you do the fight, don't go in there, yeah, and set about him the same way you set about Wilder. in the first fight. Sorry, in the second fight. That's all I ask. Set about him in the same fashion. I want you to pop him right in the mouth off the rip. Pop him straight in his mouth. And let him know that AJ needs to be shown. The problem with AJ is his whole life, he's been essentially given stuff for free. Really, you can't tell me. Show me where AJ's really earned 40, 50 million. Show me, go on then. Tell me you know what I mean? In anyone else's life, like for example, if I want to make more money, I have to make more videos. Yeah? If you want to make more money, you have to put more hours in at work. AJ just turns up, does less, and gets paid as... Do you know what I mean? Like, he's one of the only guys in the world who's able to do less and get more. It's super weird, and it pisses me off. Oh, YB, you're a pocket watcher. You're a hater. Call it what you want. I just don't sit well with me. Bottom line. Yeah? The guy he takes the whole game takes the piss out of the game as well. Let's not forget when he out here, everyone should sign up to William Hill. Everyone buy you William Hills. I'm getting the knockout. And he goes in there and there's nothing knockout about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a scam. I'm sorry. Watch AJ versus Yousick 1. He knows he had no intention of getting the knockout. You can't... Watch that performance. Tell me he was intending on getting the knockout. I've seen people intend on getting the knockout. Again, Luis Ortiz, to be fair to him. Luis Ortiz at 50 years old this weekend, before the fight, said he was going to knock Andy Ruiz out. He goes in there and off the rip, in there exchanging with him in the first early rounds, to his detriment. You know what I'm saying? Throwing big shots with 50-year-old legs underneath him. Show me where you saw AJ in the first few rounds against Yousick throwing big shots. You don't see it. Clown. Yeah? Anyway, I guess at the very least, at least it's titillating. At least it gives us something to talk about. But the game really, I guess we can. It's better than nothing. Is it better than nothing? I don't know. You man, tell me what. And the thing is, it's kind of like we're gonna get Eddie Hearn wheeled out now. Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, Eddie Hearn was supposed to be on back to the B leagues. Now all of a sudden, Fury's, you know what I mean? Fury's put this guy on again. Fury's put the guy on again. The guy was dead. The guy's dead and buried. Leave him there, in my opinion. Leave AJ with the rest of the bums. Dillian White is another one, another scammer. Isn't he? Let's be real now. Dillian White, I'm from Brixton. This at the other. Goes in there. Show me where you saw Dillian White earn 8 million against Fury. Go on, show me it. What round? What round did you see him earning it? Just went in there and got chinned. I told you before, who can't do that? I could do that. Give me 8 million and I'll stand in there and get chinned by Fury. Who can't do that? Did nothing. He didn't land one punch. He didn't. Who can't go in there, and not land one punch and get chinned? You don't need to train for that. Do you understand, people? You do. In a boxing fight, you do not need to train not to hit someone and to get chinned. That's like a double whammy, that is. The 2 goals of boxing are not to get knocked out and to hit someone. Dillian didn't do both of them. He landed no shots and you got chinned. And he out here talking about, I've been done wrong, and I've been done wrong all my career. AJ and Dillian White have robbed the bank. Bottom line, they've genuinely robbed the bank. I've never seen 2 people more useless and yet paid millions of dollars. Bottom line. Anyway, let's see how it plays out. I guess to some extent I'm going to be buzzing either way. Yeah? No doubt about it, 100%.